Now, for me, what that looks like and how that shows up in the clinic when I'm treating a Black woman or I'm treating a Latino woman is I'm seeing that these women are showing up with exhaustion and burnout. And so they really don't have the energy resource to even get through the day, let alone have the energy to create and have a baby, which takes a lot of energy and takes a lot of resources. And I think a lot of women are underestimating how much energy and how much resources it takes in order to do that successfully. It also shows up as nutrient deficiency. So, women with iron deficiency, which is an essential nutrient for healthy fertility and healthy pregnancy. You need iron to be at optimal levels in order to have healthy periods, in order to make high quality eggs, in order to ovulate properly. And I'm also seeing progesterone deficiency, which is the hormone needed to prevent miscarriage. Okay, so those are a few ways that I'm seeing that show up in my clinic. Now, because the damage of weathering accumulates over time, we also see chronic conditions like hypertension, prediabetes, and type 2 diabetes at a younger age amongst Black women. I mean, we're seeing it show up as early 20s, mid 20s, and 30s. Even 30s is a really young age to be diagnosed with any of those chronic conditions. And the thing that you need to know is all of those chronic conditions negatively impact fertility because these conditions accelerate aging and results in premature reproductive aging. Now, what that means is that a Black woman can be 30 years old chronologically, but 38 years old biologically or reproductively. So you may be 30 years old, but your biological age could be 38. And I would say, just based on the research that I've seen, whatever current age that you are right now, if you suspect that um, the reason why you can't get pregnant is due to this premature reproductive aging because you have the signs for it, such as low AMH, diminished ovarian reserve, and things like that. I would say add 7 years to your current age, and that'll give you a ballpark of what your biological age is. And this is just based on the research that I've read. And so, what you need to know is that this abnormal aging pattern is so consistent amongst us that Dr. Geronimus has stated that a Black woman of any social class, as early as her mid 20s, should be attended to differently because that's the age where biological aging begins to accelerate and we start having conditions like diabetes and hypertension. Now, the thing that enrages me about the fertility industry is that IVF clinics use the same approach for Black women and other women of color as they do for white women, even though they know statistically IVF success rates are much lower for Black women and other women of color. And they are lower because their approach overlooks the needs of Black women and other women of color. Now, here is the most important concept to learn here. There is chronological age and there is biological age, which I also refer to as reproductive age. And when it comes to fertility, biological age is what's most important. But the grace and the good news is that you can actually reverse reproductive aging. And that's because reproductive age is an epigenetic process, meaning it is a modifiable characteristic. So it can be modified through different pathways. And the major pathways that can modify it actually relate back to the major root causes that I discussed earlier. So the stress pathway, the gut pathway, the hormone pathway, the toxins and detoxification pathway, the nutrient pathways, and also relate back to the infradian rhythm that governs the major body systems that modify fertility function. So in this part of the protocol, we really focus on slowing and reversing biological reproductive aging by leveraging the epigenetic pathways in your body. So if you are a Black woman or a Latino woman listening to this training, and your fertility treatment or your current fertility approach or whatever else that you are doing to overcome your fertility challenge, if it does not address this very critical aspect of your health, then you aren't getting the care that you need. You are wasting time and you are delaying pregnancy. You have to address this critical piece because it's such a determining factor to your fertility success.